Hey guys, what's up? This is Nayan here from Barrack Solutions, and today we are going to review an application named PressReader. This application review will be applicable for an iPhone and iPad and even iPod Touch. I will talk about the differences between the iPhone and the iPad version and on which device does this application work better on. Let's talk about what is this application about. PressReader is an application which allows you to read magazines and newspaper from all over the world, and it's a subscription based application, so the application will definitely be free to download, but after that you need to subscribe to various newspapers and magazines that you want to read, and it has got over 2000 newspapers, and that's a really good fantastic content that it has. You can download any newspaper almost of any other country or of any other language, so that's really awesome of this application. Let's talk about the logo of this application. According to me, the logo is really eye-catching, and it will actually immerse the person to download this application for once and have a look at it, because the logo has been made so well. Now let's open up the application and let's talk about the design. So when you open up the application can basically be divided into three sections. One is the top bar. Second is the section where we have all our magazines and issues, and third is the section where we have the bottom bar. So let's discuss about the features of the top bar. Now in the top bar we have 5 features. First is the sources feature. So in the sources section I can select any magazine or newspaper from any country. I can select any country. Let's say I want to go to Colombia, I can select that and I can download their newspaper. Or let's say I want to select a magazine or a newspaper by language, so I can just select language, and I can, depending on the language that I want, I can actually download the newspaper. You can see I selected Gujarati and I can download the Divya Bhaskar newspaper, so that's really awesome. Now let's say I want to actually download a newspaper, let's say in English, and let's say I want to download the Washington Post. Now I can just click on the download button. Along with the download button, I also get an option to select the older versions of this newspaper, and it allows me to select older versions up to 2 weeks before, so that's really awesome. Let's say I want the 14th August newspaper, I can select that, and I can also have automatically deliver new issues, so it will automatically download the new issues without letting me know, and that's really awesome. And I can just select on download and it will start downloading the application, downloading the newspaper or the magazine. Now there's one more option in that section. Let's say I selected the Washington Post, and let's say I love this newspaper a lot. I can mark it as a favorite, and it will become, the favorite button will become green. Now when I go to my favorite section, I will get all my favorite newspapers. So that's another thing that's really awesome. And then we have the top stories in the top navigation bar, and these top stories will be there are basically the featured articles from some of the world's famous newspaper websites. So you can see I've got some featured top stories from Kuwait, Canada, UAE, UK, etc, etc. So I can just click on any one of these top stories and I can read them right over there. So that's another thing which I like about this application. Then we have the settings section. Now the settings is one of the most important section of this application. Now I can authorize this application with my account. As you can see, I have done that. I can also select for which newspapers I want auto delivery. Now auto delivery, I told you, it will deliver the newspapers automatically as soon as the newspaper is launched. And we have instructions. If you want instructions on what is each button, so you can get that. You can, and you also get a demo on it if you want. If you want a video demo, you get it. So that's another thing. If you cannot understand this application, you can read the instructions. You can send them a feedback. You can remove the issues. If you want all the newspapers to be removed from your device like within 3 days, so all the issues will get removed, you can have that feature too. So that's another thing which is good. We have Wi-Fi download only. Now let's say I am having a 3G or a edge connection or a 4G connection, but you think that you don't want to spend on your data connection and you would rather love that the application downloads magazines and newspapers only from Wi-Fi. You can select that. You can disable the full screen also. You can enable smart zoom, smart flow, and you can also enable smart flow auto translate. Now auto translate, you have to select the language in which you want to translate the newspaper or the magazine. So that's another something that's really good. And now if you're a publisher, you're having your own newspaper and you think that you want to get your newspaper on PressReader, you can click on the publisher button and you can mail publishing@newspaperdirect.com. So that's something that you can do. And in the search section, you can basically search all the newspapers. You can search inside the newspapers. So that's something really awesome. Let's say I just go to the search section again. You can see I can search inside the newspapers. I can search all newspapers. I can search by language. I can search a newspaper by a language or by all languages. And I can also search the newspapers which were launched last 3 days or something else. So that's something really cool. The searching technique that they have used is really awesome. Now comes the middle bar. Now the middle section is basically the area, as I told, where the magazines and the newspapers are stored. So you can see the latest newspaper is the Washington Post and the Hindustan Times, which I have not read. It gives a new banner on that particular newspaper letting me know that sir or madam, you need to read that particular newspaper or magazine. We'll go into that newspaper reading, how it works later on. Let's go to the bottom bar. In the bottom bar I have the edit button. With the edit button I can delete any magazine or issue which I want to. Let's say I want to delete the Sunday Times, which was pretty old. Now let's say I want to arrange this particular newspapers and magazine in another format. I can do that by selecting the button at the bottom. So you can see it gives me a list arrangement, and this is a grid arrangement. So depending on what kind of arrangement you want, you can select that. Now let's see how the newspapers can be read or listened to. So let's click on the Washington Post, and when I click on the newspaper, you can see it becomes full screen. Now I can actually zoom in or zoom out on any on any article that I want to read on the newspaper or magazine, and it's really smooth on iPad 2 and iPad 3. However, on the iPad 1, which is in my case, it's not that smooth. Now if I click on the newspaper again, at the bottom I get options like the sections. The front page, the second section is the politics and nation, the third section is campaign 2012. So all these sections I can browse, and if I click on any one of the sections, you can see it gives me a preview of the whole newspaper. So that's something which I loved about this application, and it's really easy to browse section on this application. Now let's say I want to view the newspaper in like a book, first page, second page. So I can just select the button on the top, and you can see the first page comes, and then it appears like a book, the second page, the third page, and then I can just zoom in on any other article that I want, and it will become much more clearer, and I can just read it. And you can see all the links, all the hyperlinks. Like I have a website like http://techbarrack.com. If that's there on the newspaper, then it will automatically get hyperlinked and I can visit that particular link. You can see that, and it's really an amazing feature. I don't know why it didn't work, but it works. So let's go back to the newspaper once again, and let's say if I want to actually print a particular article, I can just select the button on the top and I can print that particular whole page. I can print the screen that's there on my iPad. I can listen to that particular article if the newspaper supports audio listening, and I can even translate that particular article. So that's something really cool, and I can actually translate it to these many languages. Let's say I want Japanese, and it will actually get translated to Japanese. Okay, it's taking quite a lot of time, so I would rather leave that section aside. And talking about the next section, There's actually nothing left to talk except for the audio section. Let's say I want to read the Hindustan Times in...
Disputable, says PM.
I want to read the Hindustan Times in English, in audio. So I can just click on that audio button and it will start speaking. And let's say I want to shift to the next article. You can see it will show me which article it is going to shift in. So I just click on that. And
Monday at HindustanTimes.com. New Delhi. The government wants to make life simpler for couples.
So you can see that it works very well, and it's not available for all the newspapers. It's available only for few of the newspapers. I can rate on that particular article also. Let's say if I like that article, I can just click on the thumbs up button, and I can just click on the thumbs down button if I don't like it. But I don't know where you can, how is that beneficial to us, whether it's beneficial to the newspaper person who's providing us the newspaper, or is it beneficial to us, because I'm just thumbsing up or I'm just clicking on thumbs down. So it's up to me whether I want to like it or dislike it. So that's basically the application review for the iPad. The only glitch that I found in this application is that it crashes sometimes, and it's really very annoying because it crashes quite a lot of times, and it hangs a lot. I found the application to hang quite a lot in the middle while I was browsing at magazines and newspapers. So that's one thing which I didn't like about this application. Now I've got the iPhone, and let's talk about this application on the iPhone. The application works in the same way like it works on the iPad, but it's just a smaller screen, and the options that we used to get on the top in the iPad, we get it at the bottom, like top stories and searching for a particular searching inside a particular newspaper. The sources button is however still on the top over here. The sources and the favorites button, it's on the top, and there's nothing different in this application for iPhone. However, reading the newspapers on the iPhone is a bit difficult, and it proves out to be that it's definitely much better on the tablet because of the bigger screen, and it's very easier to browse on the iPad rather than on the iPhone. That's the only difference that I found. And the glitch in the iPhone application is also that while I was reading magazine on my iPhone, I found out that it crashes a lot. That's the only glitch that I found in this application. Rest, the application is really good. But that's basically about this review on PressReader. I would definitely suggest that you guys go ahead and try it out. You will definitely get a trial version of 7 credits on your iOS devices, so you can download up to 7 newspapers on your iOS devices for free. I hope you liked it. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and visit techbarrack.com.